Okay, this is where our great city started. It was back in 1702 that King Louis XIV contracted with two explorers out of Quebec, Canada. They were the Lemoyne brothers, Jean Baptiste Bienville Lemoyne and Pierre Lemoyne. And he wanted them to find a shortcut to New Orleans because commerce, cotton was king at that point in time. And they took off sailing to Mobile, and they actually ended up in Pensacola. Well, when they arrived in Pensacola, it was occupied by the Spanish, and they did not want that war, so they headed west. And if you've ever been out in our bay, they took a little too sharp turn to the right and ended up in Mobile River, which is 2 blocks from where we are. And they went 27 miles north of Mobile to a place that we refer to as 27 miles North Bluff or Chastain, Alabama. Well, they settled there for about 9 months, and an outbreak of yellow fever came about, and it pushed them back to this location. Well, the original fort today is probably in the bay somewhere over the Bankhead Tunnel. And this site that you see here was actually constructed in 1976 for the bicentennial celebration of the United States. And it's 1/3 the size of the original fort, and it's done on a 4/5 engineering scale. But it is identical to the original fort and the city of Mobile, which was housed in this fence. Well, the king, being the gracious person that he was, he sent a second ship. And that second ship had females on it. And those females today, we know they were orphans from the Roman Catholic Church, and their chaperones were nuns. And those ladies did come here to marry the soldiers, and a lot of them did. And they started to grow the city. Well, during this time, Mobile was somewhat, you might say, open and unruly. And as a result, the wives would allow their husbands to have girlfriends as long as they were considered of a different or lower social class. Well, through Eric's eyes today, I'd have to say you have to look at that from a different perspective, because those ladies were actually orphans, and some of the girlfriends were concubines, but they were their girlfriends. And a lot of those girlfriends actually had children for the soldiers. Well, the story that I'm leading up to is that those children were called Creoles. And a child that has an African American mom and a French or Spanish dad, the offspring is colloquially called a Creole. So we have a large population of Creoles in Mobile, and as you know, there's a large population of Creoles in New Orleans and Louisiana. And so we're going to talk about Creoles a little further into the tour, but I kind of just wanted to give you an outlay of the city and how we got started back in 1702.